Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Thursday, February the 16th. Race number 9 at Gulfstream Park. We'll conclude the card with a maiden special weight for 3-year-olds. They're going 1 mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta surface. Let's take a look at this field. Please scan the QR code for Race of the Day access on mobile. Mike, you've got 2 first-time starters in the race trained by Chad Brown. You've got 2 first-time starters in the race trained by Todd Pletcher, and you've got several experienced horses that have given good performances. So as you can see by the morning line, it's pretty wide open.
Yeah, pretty interesting race. The first-time starters, obviously, not only in terms of connections, but there's some nice pedigrees with those horses as well. So it feels like they all have something to offer. There are horses in here, however, who have already run pretty well. So we'll see if they can, maybe take small steps forward here. It's a pretty interesting race.
We'll start with one of the 2 Chad Brown trained firsters down on the rail, the number 1 Turf King. Of the 2 Brown trained firsters, I prefer Turf King. He has a European pedigree. He's by Kingman, who has limited positive data in North America with synthetic runners, 19% winners with debut runners in North America. Dam Stakes winning turf router, 3rd and 4th Dam Group 1 winners in France. There's a lot to like.
Yeah, a lot of pedigree here. Kingman's one of the, you don't see tons of them over here yet, but he's just a really, really good sire. You mentioned how good the Dam was. Also worth pointing out that she was a debut winner over in England. That was sprinting on the grass. But there's a real nice pedigree here. I thought this horse looked pretty good. Breeze 10-1 last March on the all-weather at Ocala. I thought he looked pretty good in that Breeze before they went for him. And Chad, for whatever it's worth, and I know it's a small sample, Dan, but since that all-weather went in down there, first-time starters, synthetic routes at Gulfstream over the last 12 or 13 months, 3 for 6, 2 seconds. These horses going off at prices, too. I don't know. This horse is very interesting here. I'll be interested to see if he gets bet.
And this colt has sold twice now pretty well. In Europe, as a yearling, went for $116,000. And then, as Mike mentioned, after breezing well over the all-weather at Ocala, sold for $180,000. The number 2 is Ordinary. This is one of the experienced horses, and Ordinary took no money for his career debut sprinting on turf during the Belmont at Aqueduct meet. Didn't break very well, never really got involved. You could treat him as a first-time starter, switching surfaces, adding Lasix. And he's by Munnings, Mike, who does very well, 19% with synthetic routers.
Yeah, by Munnings, a really good sire. His Dam only made 1 start, but she's a sister to a horse named Aussie Siempre, good turf horse, but she was also a grade 1 winner on synthetic. So some pedigree here. I'm with you about the debut, Dan. I mean, just took no money, broke 1 or 2 lengths slow from the gate, and then didn't really do any running. So, it's hard to have a lot of confidence in him, but maybe he'll do better here. He's got Lasix on.
High percentage trainer Safi Joseph sends out the 3, Nate the Great, who made a very promising debut, going a 2-turn 7.5 furlongs on turf. Let's watch that race right now. He was dismissed at a big price. He also caught a race, Mike, where the horse on the lead wired this field, and he swung wide, maybe up against it a little bit. All in all, a pretty good finish. And his Dam was a grade 3 placed runner on the turf, so there's some pedigree as well.
Yeah, I thought he ran okay in here. I'm with you as far as just the way the race shape goes. Maybe that's enough of an excuse, Dan. The winner, they did allow that horse to sort of rate the pace up the backstretch. At the same time, Nate the Great had dead aim on him from the top of the stretch. He sort of jumped to his wrong lead there. Leg was never really catching him. I don't know. I'm sort of conflicted about that performance. I think he could certainly improve and win here. I also can see him taking money, and I just personally wouldn't want a short price on him.
The number 4 is Fearless Soldier, one of the 2 Pletcher-trained debut runners, and the one I prefer of the 2 Pletcher-trained debut runners. A $700,000 yearling by the young stallion City of Light, 7% winners with debut runners. But the Dam's a half-sister to Bulls Bay, who won the Whitney on dirt going 2 turns. She's a half to the grade 3 dirt winner, our Christie, who liked a route of ground. And the last 3 workouts match up with a horse named Dreamlike that Pletcher sent out the other day to run second in a maiden with an 87 Beyer speed figure. The City of Light Giants Causeway Nick has produced Chop Chop, who was the beaten favorite in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies last year. So there's a lot of stamina in this pedigree, Mike. Nice Phipps family.
Yeah, there's plenty of pedigree here. You mentioned that the Dam on the Dam side, particularly, there's some runners down there. The Dam herself wasn't that good But she's a sister to 4 stakes winners. The first foal from this dam wasn't any good, Dan, 0 for 3, but that I think that horse sold for like 40,000. This horse went for 700,000 for Pletcher. I mean, obviously there are things to like here. Another one, I would just sort of wait and see what kind of price. I mean, you have to ask yourself, if this horse gets bet, do you want to go in on this one? Pletcher's got 2 firsters in here, and Irad's riding the other one.
Chief Bullet is the number 5. This horse is at a gigantic price on the morning line, 30-1. Looks like new connections. Now, this horse has started 3 times on the dirt at Penn National. It hasn't run very well. But looking at the chart, at least of the last race, in the long comments, ran off for about a half mile before the start. They loaded him right back into the gate, and it didn't work out after getting wired. The sire Daredevil wins 12% with synthetic runners, but this horse has a lot to prove.
Yeah, exactly. Did I guess ran off before that last one, but it was also a $10,000 maiden claimer, and you wound up beating about 30 lengths. Pretty tough spot, it looks like.
Stanley House has experienced on the Tapeta surface, having raced twice already at Woodbine as a 2-year-old. Now let's watch his most recent start. This race was going 3/4 of a mile on December the 4th, and as you see, he stopped, he got himself a hot dog from the grandstand, and he's going to come with a big, wide, late sweeping move to finish a solid second with a respectable 70 Beyer speed figure, Mike. It's all about how he'll stretch out in his first start of the year.
Yeah, that's the main question. I still think this horse is pretty interested in here, Dan. I think he's run well in both of his starts. You saw the wide move he made there. He similar trip in his career debut where I thought he ran very well in his first start too. Dan, he was green in that race, but just stayed wide the entire way and made a similar eye-catching late run in that race. Will he stretch out? I don't know. I guess that's the real question here. I think he's dangerous, and it feels like he could be a fair price.
Clever Thought, the number 7, is the Pletcher first-time starter that will be ridden by a Rad Ortiz. This horse is by Quality Road. He's just a rock-solid stallion with everything. 15% winners with debut runners, 18% with synthetic routers. The dam was stakes placed in an off-the-turf dirt mile, but she's also a half-sister to Dancing Forever, who won the Grade 1 Manhattan on the turf. I mentioned the Phipps family for Fearless Soldier. I misspoke. This is the strong Phipps family of Heavenly Prize.
Yeah, Second Dam is a sister to Heavenly Prize. There's a lot of pedigree here. This is the one Irad lands on. And this horse is the shorter price on the morning line as well. I sort of preferred this Pletcher to the other one, but they both have something to recommend them.
Chad Brown has the first or the number 8, Carmi's Army. This horse sold for 6 figures as a Keeneland September yearling by Gunrunner, 17% winners with debut runners. The dam was a stakes-winning sprinter. We remember Lisa's Booby Trap. She ran up in New York. She's been a very productive dam. She's already thrown a stakes-winning miler named Not That Brady and a stakes-place synthetic sprinter. So this is a little bit of an interesting pedigree. 2 turns for the first start, always tough, Mike, especially with a little speed on the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, listen, but there is enough pedigree here, though, to get excited about. We already talked about the Chad Brown numbers with horses like this. So I don't think you really have to worry about this horse starting out in a 2-turn race, because so far when Chad's done it, it's worked out pretty well. And it kind of feels like this one could be the better price of the 2 firsters.
Completing the field's your morning line favorite, the number 9, Justin's Legacy. This is a really well-bred horse, and they might have gotten him for a bargain, 20,000 or so as a yearling. Let's watch his debut, where he took some money going 7.5 furlongs, and he ran quite all right to be second, beating the neck. There was some pace for him to run at, but he got a good experience, I thought, in the first 3/4 of a mile. And as you can see, he looks like a big, strapping colt with a lot of upside potential.
Yeah, he runs fine in here. I thought he got a good trip overall, made the lead in the stretch, and then just, couldn't hold on at the end. But it's not like he totally quit in there, Dan. I thought he ran fine. They're going to switch surfaces with him here, go a little bit longer. So we'll see how that works out for him. I can't knock him, but if he was the favorite, I wouldn't bet him.
Before we get to our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top selection time for our Thursday race of the day to conclude the card at Gulfstream Park. We're both going to go with first-time starters. Mike's going with the Chad Train number 1 Turf King, who at least we know has some experience on the synth with that 2-year-old Breeze.
Yeah, of the experienced horses, Dan, I much prefer the 6 Stanley House. I'm going to use him, but I like everything. I think all the intangibles surrounding the 1 Turf King. I like his pedigree. I like his connections. I like that he drew towards the inside here. So I'm going to take him on top.
I also think that of the experienced horses, Stanley House is the one to consider. But I'm really interested by those last three works. The work made of Fearless Soldier came back and ran a really big number on the dirt. And this horse has enough route pedigree that makes me somewhat interested. And if the gamblers decide to flock to IRADs with Clever Thought, the other first-time starter for Pletcher, maybe Fearless Soldier can offer 9-2-5 on the tote. I'll go 4-6-1-9. Mike's going Turf King in our Thursday race of the day. Good luck.